to the Midnight Manuscripts. I am Thomas Stewart, known to many of you as Court's Child. Tonight's story, we have a radio DJ who gets a little more than he bargained for when it's request night, and a certain caller has a very specific request, one that's as chilling as it is peculiar. Tonight I give you, written by Shannon Bradner, Request and Dedication. Request and Dedication Hour by Shannon Bradner. Narrated by Thomas Stewart. Danny started his shift at the radio station, gearing up for the special Valentine's Day request show they did every year. Most of those shows were as generic as they came. Mundane dedications and mundane pop songs from the past. The person requesting them desperately hoping to get their message across to that one person, who probably wasn't even listening to the show to begin with. This was a far less glamorous job than his stint as a musician 40 years ago when his band, the Forget-Me-Nots, became mildly popular. Danny was the lead singer, and they had a few local hits. They were on their way to getting signed with a major label when, in pure rock star fashion, they blew because of the partying and fighting amongst the band members. They broke up, and after a while tried to get back together, but the members were all getting older and had families. It would just be too hard to get back out there. Life became their Yoko. Danny tried writing music for other bands for a time with little success, and eventually became a disc jockey. Hey, at least he got to work in music to a degree, which made him happy. He had worked at several different stations all over the country and was popular on all of them. Hell, he even scored a hot-ass wife of his own, Sarah, who he promised to take out for a fantastic Valentine's dinner on his next night off. He knew he had no real reason to complain about his failed rock stardom. Life was still fan-fucking-tastic. Danny pressed the button and started talking into the mic in his DJ voice. Hey, you're tuned in to 96.6 The Vault, where we play all the biggest hits and deep cuts from the 80s and 90s. This is Danny Green taking all your special Valentine's Day requests and dedication this hour. So if there's a special someone you want to tell them you love, you want them back, or even if you want to tell them it's over and kiss your you-know-what, now's the time to do it. I'm taking calls now. The phone board was already lighting up. It was time to get this party started. 96.6, you're in the vault with Danny. Who have I got on the line?
Hey Danny, this is Gina,
said the female voice on the line. Hey Gina Bina, what can I play for you tonight?
Can you play Always by Atlantic Star? I want to dedicate it to Jason. I want to tell him I love him and I miss him, and it sucks he has to work tonight.
Oh, your man has to work tonight. That's lame. Oh wait, I know work tonight too. I guess I'm lame. Haha. Danny laughed at his fake disc jockey laugh. Don't worry, Gina. I'll get that song on for you as soon as possible. And Jason, if you're listening, you better make it up to Gina. Give her some of that paycheck. Danny took a few more calls similar to that one, to the one that came in. There was even a request for Eat My Shorts by Rick Dees that some guy wanted to dedicate to his ex, which Danny thought was just hilarious. Danny did the best he could to play everyone's requests and be his usual charming self when talking to callers. Time was going by quickly, and soon the request dedication segment would be over. Okay, guys, we have time for just a couple more calls. He hit the button. You're on with Danny. What's your name? Danny's question was met with silence. Danny asked again. Hey, caller, you're on with Danny. What song do you want to hear? Still nothing. Sounds like this one's cat got their tongue. All right, caller, find your vocal cords and call me back. Danny was about to disconnect the call when the male voice said, I've got it made. Danny replied, What's that song again, caller? The voice repeated itself. I want you to play the song I've got it made. There was no emotion whatsoever in the voice. It was flat, toneless. Still, Danny's blood ran cold at the mention of the song title. He tried to keep his composure as he told the caller, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not sure what song you're talking about. Can you tell me the artist? You know the artist, Danny. And the caller was right. Still, Danny played the fool. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm afraid I don't. But call back when you can tell me who the artist is, okay? Maybe I can get lucky and find it for you. Thanks for calling. Before the caller could say anything else, he disconnected it. Danny felt like he couldn't catch his breath. Thankfully, it was time for a commercial break. He went to the water cooler and filled up a cup, which was a feat because his hands were shaking so badly. Most nights he was glad he worked alone. His shift started at 7 p.m. and the station manager was always gone by the time he got there. Everyone else was mostly gone as well. He wouldn't see a soul until the graveyard slot DJ came in at 11. After that call, however, he wished someone else was there. He tried to make sense of it. It had to be a joke. Nobody knew about I've Got It Made, except Sarah. He wrote it for her a few weeks after they started dating. Nobody ever heard it but her. He recorded himself singing it to her while he played guitar. It was on a cassette tape that always remained in the bottom box in their bedroom so she could play it before she went to sleep the nights he was working. When he met Sarah, she was married to someone else. Yeah, Danny knew it was wrong to pursue a married woman. He bought her a drink at a bar one night, and they just hit it off. They had that chemistry everyone was talking about. He finally found it in her, and by the time she revealed she was married, he was already in too deep. She told him her husband was a very abusive man, and he would kill her if she ever left. She told Danny that he would always find her. Danny never intended to let that happen. They ran off in the middle of the night, never leaving a trace. But soon he did find them. He stalked and he threatened until restraining orders were filed, and he finally just went away. Danny wondered if these calls meant he was starting up his shit again. Danny decided to text Sarah and make sure she was okay. He didn't want to alert her or upset her in any way for no reason. He would merely text a casual, thinking of you text, and see what she says. A couple seconds later, his phone dinged. Thinking of you too. 3 purple hearts. And when you get home, I have a nice little Valentine's surprise for you. That settled it. Nothing weird had happened and she was okay. All he had to do was make it a couple more hours. He would go home and give her the rock star loving she deserved. Still, something didn't sit right with him in that caller. How did that person know about that song? He tried to shake it off. It was time to get back on the air. The phone board lit up again and he hit the button. Hey, 96.6, you're on with Danny. Request and dedication hour is over. What can I do for you? He heard a song playing in the background. Something was wrong. They were calling from his house. And Danny ran out of the station and raced to his car. Sarah had to be okay, right? She texted him. But what if it wasn't her? He tried to call her but got no answer. Fuck! He screamed out loud to nobody as he raced to his house. When he pulled into the driveway, he flung the car open and ran into the house. The front door was wide open. Panic went through Danny as he called Sarah's name. He could hear a song playing from the bedroom. No, 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 he thought as he searched for his bride. And then he saw her, his beautiful wife, naked on the bed, her head detached from her body placed carefully beside her on the bloody pillow. The boombox on the end of the table was playing a song. It sounded distorted, eerie, like it was dragging. On the wall, above the bed, written in blood, was a message for Danny. Surprise, Danny. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your wife. She gives the best head, doesn't she? And that, my children, concludes Request and Dedication by Shannon Bradner. If you would like to support more of Shannon Bradner's work, her work can be found primarily on godless.com. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere else where you find authors like myself. And speaking of which, if you would like to support me, you can find my work on Amazon and Godless, as well as The Sanctuary at www.corpsechildsanctuary.com/shop. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher, and Threads. Until next time, my children, stories, nightmares.